Hello, everybody. What
Hi
is
everyone. Hello and welcome to the first Waze Community Office Hours.
Woo?
We're live from Israel, and as you can see, everybody's home right now. Due to the current situation, we're going to talk a little bit about that in a few moments. But first of all, we're going to allow a few minutes for everyone to join. We have a lot of people attending this webinar today, and we're super excited to have you all in here. It is the first time that we're having the whole editors community across the globe joining our first global webinar, our first community office hours. So we're also joined by most of the community team, and as you can see right now, I have two faces joining me for this webinar, who is Hezi, who you might know, he's also within the community team, and also Mayan from the localization team. Hello, good morning, good evening, everyone. And yes, a few comments before we start, and as we do some time for everyone to join. As you can see, everybody's connecting from home. We are all working from home, but really happy to be here. So we hope that the internet will be stable enough, but please let us know in case you cannot hear as well, and we're going to make sure that everything goes smooth. We want to thank everyone for joining. We know that the time is not suitable for everyone. We try to find a time that would be the most comprehensive or the most suitable for everyone, East and West. But we understand that lots of you have family plans today on Sunday. Hopefully you're home and are safe and are healthy, which is the most important thing. But we want to thank everyone for taking the time and joining this first global webinar on these office hours. So as I said, I'm joined by most of the community teams in here, and they are going to be part as well of the last part of this webinar. In the meantime, I'm going to let you know that the agenda for today will consist, first of all, of my opening and tell you what is this format that we are launching today. And then we are going to have the privilege to be joined by both Hezi and Mayan, who are going to be talking about the current crisis, the COVID-19 coronavirus, and what we are doing and what we can do to from our place, from the Waze community, to help our users around the world. And towards the end, we're going to have a Q&A session. So it's important that any questions that you guys have, you put it in the Q&A section. It's important to know that in the Q&A section, you have, it's especially important that you will ask any questions that you have related to this crisis, but you're welcome also to ask general questions about the community and Waze, and we're going to open the microphone to some members of our community team who are going to be helping us answer these questions that you may have today. So we waited for a few minutes, and basically I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to start this webinar and the launch of the community office hours by telling you that we are all going through a time of uncertainty. This is new, I guess, for all of us, and it's very challenging. There's a lot of unknowns, and we are learning more and more about it through the days. And because of all the restrictions on travel and staying at home and gathering and the uncertainties about meetup, it was very, very, very important for us to maintain, in the meantime, a fluid communication with you, and that's why we came out with these formats so that we can meet regularly with you despite the logistic challenges that we're currently facing. It is really important that we keep communicated, that we are telling you what's going on at Waze, and that you as well ask us any questions that you may have and send us feedback. So that's really important. And clarifying again, you have the general chat, as I see that you guys are writing there, but we also have the Q&A section for those of you who are first timers using Big Marker, and we're going to be going through the list of the Q&A towards the end. The last thing that I wanted to clarify is that this format will be done monthly. On a monthly base, I will be your host, and we will have different guests joining from the community team and within Waze. And without further ado, I would like to give pass the word to Khezi and Mayan, who are joining us today to talk about the current crisis. Welcome, guys.
Hey, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. It's really exciting to see all the name of the countries when everybody is greeting from. So thank you very much for taking the time and joining us. And let's start. Maya.
All right. So my name is Mayan. I lead the Waze Crisis Response Program, and I want to talk to you for just a few moments about how Waze has been responding in collaboration with the editor community to the COVID crisis, to the coronavirus.
Mayan, before you start, sorry that I'm stopping you for a second, and something that I didn't clarify is that this webinar is being recorded, and it's going to be shared with all of you and everyone who could not be joining us today. Sorry.
Right. Thank you. So Waze Crisis Response, you might have been in contact with us or been affected before in the past. Usually, in most of our cases, we say Waze Crisis is here for our users to support events that have had or are expected to have a significant negative impact on traffic and on the community. Nowhere in that definition did we think of a pandemic virus spreading globally. So this entire response, it comes with a lot of uncertainty and a lot of places where we're turning to you guys, to the editor community, to let us know what you need. And right now, that means we've been informing users of the latest information through road closures and testing centers. And also, when there are changes in regulations, for example, quarantines or red zones, we're using in-app pop-ups, encouragements they're called, to let users know of the changes that are happening. And Khezi will talk a little bit more about how we're going to make those available more widely in the coming days. So, as I said, road closures, in general, if you're familiar with the road closure tool and the map editor and how to create MTEs, you in the past have not been able to create a countrywide MTE. Our engineers were able to hack a little bit and give us that option for this crisis specifically. So if you have a need for a countrywide MTE, instead of creating many smaller ones, please email either your community manager or Waze-crisis and at google.com, and we'll create that MTE for you and share the link, and then you can associate road closures to it so that it's one MTE for the entire country instead of like one per much smaller region. Medical testing centers, as I mentioned, we're able to show those on the map. Boy, the network is unstable. Sorry, guys. We show those as pins, so you're able to see them on the map, or if you search for the keyword COVID, COVID, or coronavirus as one word. If there's any other type of information that you think would be valuable, in the US, for example, we're looking at food distribution locations, please let us know. As I said, this is uncharted territory for us, and we're really looking for you guys to let us know how we can help you. Red zones, as I mentioned before, and restriction removals. A lot of countries right now are undoing their previous restrictions because it's just not appropriate or not a good fit right now. And so if that is the case, talk to your community manager and they'll be able to help you with next steps.
So basically, it will be the best time to say thank you to everybody who contributed already for updating the maps according to the reaction of your countries. So we have already 28 countries which we took any kind of action within the map to help with this crisis or with this days that we have. Some countries chose just to add closures. Some countries chose to add only pin locations. Some of them chose to do both. As Mayan said, in Italy, France, and Portugal, and Philippines, sorry, we already have encouragement saying, calling people to take any kind of action or to stay at home if it's needed. I'm not going to go through everything, but please know that all the options are open for everybody. And what is the most important thing to remember here is the fact that you might feel that your country took any kind of action and you need to react accordingly, and it might be only you. But we see that most of the countries react the same, so we basically know to provide the same solutions for all the issues that we have. In any case, once you have information and once you think that there's something that needs to be changed on the map, please let us know and we will help you to find the best solution for it. And we will try to do our best to support everything that we can in this crisis. So few updates in this regard. So changes in the ETA. So a lot of time, a few requests already received from the communities to say that traffic has changed and we need to change the way we show the ETA to our users. So there was a work in our routing team, and they will check if there will be a slight drop in traffic. They will change the ETA and they will fix it according to the drop that they see. So stay tuned. They're going to start measuring it tomorrow, since Monday is a weekday, another weekend. And if they will see the decrease, they will react accordingly, and the ETA will change accordingly. Encouragement messages, one fits all. So we see, as I said before, we see that there's a lot of things that are repetitive, and we can find the same solution for a lot of countries. We're working currently on making an encouragement message saying that calling the people to stay at home and to follow the regulation within their country, and to drive only for essential or for work or whatever is allowed to do in each country. So we create something quite general to fit all of you, and then we will reach out to you and see if we need, if you think your country needs it, we will apply it into the app, and users within your country will get this message. Last but not least, we are currently working on creating a data site to collect more information from more sources. A lot of this information will be channeled from partners, but maybe some other people will be able to provide us with this information. At certain points, we will need your help with it. So I want to think I want you to share your thoughts about it. We might need you to help us to validate the information that we get, because sometimes you know that something is happening, and then a partner, which we already collaborate with, give us the data. And if we will think that it needs validation, we might gonna ask your help with it. If that's okay, so please share your thoughts and say what you think will work best for you in this regard. Before we're gonna move to the Q&A, and please ask everything. You can ask everything here. We will try to help, and if it's something that we think will be offline, we will reach out to you offline. We reminding you the email address of the Waze crisis to share all the information that you have. And if you don't have the form yet, or you haven't got the chance to reach out to our form to inform us with all the information that you have, you can scan this barcode now, and it will direct you to the form. If needed, we're going to bring it back later on. That's it from our side. Ask what you need.
I think that we already have some questions on the Q&A section. before we move on to that, reminding you guys, for the ones of you especially that are having some sound problems, we are currently recording this webinar, so don't worry. In a few hours, it will be available through the forum. So, and other than that, please feel free to move on to the Q&A section and ask any questions that you may have there, not only about the crisis and what Mayan and Hezi just presented us about, but in general about Waze and updates. You're more than welcome to ask any questions you have in there. All right. So first question is from William. Monthly, is there a fixed schedule? Let's like fourth Sunday or some other rule? Right, correct. That currently it's set for every fourth Sunday of the month. Something else that I wanted to add is that to thank you guys, because like this was done kind of last minute, and we had quite a little, like a very little time between the time that we announced until the webinar happened. But for the next month, we're going to do this, and we're going to announce it well in advance so that everybody has the opportunity to participate. Next question. Will be shared in the forum? Correct. It will be shared in the forum in the same thread in the general announcements section. Which is the same section where it was announced originally in the forum. Is there a question from Hugo? Is there a forum to request the information of PIN requests for each country?
Hezi, if you go back one slide in your deck. Oh, there's a form.
So Hugo, you basically can fill out everything that you need, like you've already done, your community have already done, all the information that you need to share with us in order for us to make it like pins on the map, pin location. Just fill out this form and we will get back to you with everything we needed.
Next question is from Silvio. Did you think the possibility to alert people they cannot enter the red zone, but allow drivers, police trucks, to be allowed to be routed in red areas? Because when we close a red area, nobody can be routed inside.
So I can take that. In general, Waze has always said that it's an app for your average driver. And so for that reason, among others, like we're very focused on drivers, like your regular driver, you, me, Hezi, Mauro. And so we're not going to have specific behavior that's only for a relatively small sector of the population. We've discussed it, we continue to discuss it, but right now it's not something that we can do.
Something I wanted to ask you guys, can you please clarify to the audience where the current forum is posted? It's posted in the forum, right?
Yes, so the forum is currently in the coordinators forum and in the global chat forum.
All right. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact your coordinators and your in your global chats. Next question is from John. Can Waze add a banner message to all place search results that ours may be different and posted due to current situation?
We're looking into it, yeah.
Right. Next one is from Boyan. Would there be an option to put a police checkpoint in the editor as we implement road closures instead of just as a temporary signal through the app?
I don't know. Hezi, do you know?
It can be checked. So I'm writing it down and I'll get back to you with that. But overall, if the road is not closed, so don't use the closure. Just like a general thing to say, because we want it to reflect the real situation of the map. if people cannot drive there, this is where you put this a closure. And if we need to mark something special now, so we will try to find the perfect solution as fast as possible. But I'll get back to you with it.
Next question is from Harris. Can you please provide the URL for the feedback form in addition to the QR code?
Yes, I will. When posting the recording, Mauro will add as well the URL for the form. No problem.
Absolutely. Question from Mike. It would be helpful to have an RTC-like function for place points that override the open times and just list the place as closed until the RTC expires.
So it would be like a segment that's attached to a place?
Just the option to close the place just like for a certain time, if I understand correctly. Mike, if you can just add a few words to it, it will help us to understand and see how we can move on.
Yeah, if you can clarify, I will leave the question currently unanswered so that you can give us a clarification, Mike, and we can correctly address it. Zachary, can we add a temporary hours function to places?
So it basically, as Mayan said, we're looking into it just to maybe add the option to have hours might be changed during these days and not the specific hours, because this also changed from day to day. So I'm not sure we can be always up to date. So we're looking for something general that say that hours might change during these days.
Right. Next question from Francesco. Our community is currently using more the reporting tool for adding reports on the roads. The tool has some bugs which are easy to fix, but Waze is not going to take care of it. That's a pity for us, for partners, and for Waze. Do you guys have any information regarding the RTC, the reporting tool? Otherwise, we will. Another member of our community team has a better way.
So if someone from the community teams knows, please write us. Knows something else from what I know. But Francesco, I would suggest that you can send me the list of the things that you have problem with there, and we will try to look into it, and I will get back to you what will be fixed or not necessary, or if there's other option to do it.
Right. I know that in general terms that the partnership teams is taking care of these year of many open bugs that they had. But again, like we need to know which specific bugs. So Francesco, you will be so kind to send us the specific cases so that we can give you an answer or on a follow-up, because we will need to look at them specifically. Question from Manuel. Is it possible to deactivate the police alert? We do not want Waze to be used to escape police control, made to ensure people remains at home and do not drive for idiot purposes.
Manuel, we will check it as well. Again, if someone from the team knows to answer.
Sorry?
No, and I said again, if someone from our team knows to answer better than.
Correct.
And if not, and we will, just like Mauro, if that's okay, all the questions that we say that we will answer later, we will post the answers for everybody so they will be able to follow and know if it's relevant to their country as well or not.
Correct. We're taking notes of any questions to be followed up, and we will send it in the update of the at the same thread of the announcement of the webinar. I'm just clearing the questions here so that it's better for me to follow up and to make sure that we answer everyone. Question from Igor. The Russian community is very sad about statistic and ETA not working properly.
During these days, like since the crisis has started, or in general? Is it something like general question that you experienced for a while, or is it related to the coronavirus?
Right. So Igor, if you could clarify that to us, if it's just specific to the coronavirus or in general, it will be great. Then we have another question to the car regarding the temporary hours. This is something that has always been needed, particularly for seasonal hours and holidays, not just crisis.
Noted. I believe that if we will have the option to edit now, we might be able to use it in other times as well, and not just in crisis. But the idea is noted, and we will try to implement it into the app. Thanks.
Perfect. And I'm just getting a clarification as we speak from Adas, the community manager for the Russian community, which is a general request. So it's not specific to the coronavirus crisis, but I'm sure that Adas is looking into it, and if she has any follow-up to it, I'll add it also in the follow-up message. Jose, people are discouraged from driving these days. You also promote hashtag stay at home. Do you consider showing official statistics on this?
Official statistics of what? Of how many people drove anyway, or how many people got this message?
I guess he means about the decrease. Like, so if we can show percentages of a decrease in numbers of drivers.
So you can always feel free to reach out to your community manager and ask for all the information that you need. We will share whatever we can share, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So ask for whatever statistic you might find interesting or want to share or know, and if we can share it, we will share it with you.
Right. I know that I also got some requests from some Latin American communities, and as personally as a community manager, I know that we are looking into that. There are different departments that are in charge, so we are looking for an answer to that request, and we will follow up as well and in the follow-up document. Iswan, I hope I'm pronouncing your name well. Can we draw a polygon based on critical red zone area to alert the user?
Yes, and please do. Please, it's much, much easier for me and the team if you find the polygon that you need the alert in, and not just tell me, oh, it's in this region, because this region might not match how we have it mapped in Waze. And it's really important that we do exactly as the regulation holds, and that's another thing. Any type of messaging we have in the app has to match, and this is really important, it has to match what the government is saying. So if you don't have an official order yet from the government, we're going to have to wait a few days, or hopefully much longer. Hopefully you won't get there for that regulation to be implemented, and then we can come in with in-app messaging.
Thank you, Mayan.
And just something small about it. Like marking a red area means that people cannot go in this area and cannot go out of this area. So once the destination set for a user is within the area and his origin is outside of the area, I will get a pop-up saying you cannot go there or something similar to it. Just like to clarify what we need to define as red zone or red area.
When you're letting us know about any type of restriction, though, do define it. Assume we don't know what a red zone means and define it every time from 0, because we're noticing that most countries are following the same pattern as Chezi mentioned, but there are small variations, and we want to make sure that the messaging that we're sending is accurate. Also, one thing that I forgot to mention is that the format of the polygon that you're sending us, please make it in Wicked format, or as if you were drawing the polygon through the Waze map editor. where it's polygon, parenthesis, parenthesis, da, 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 da. Yeah, that. So that's the format we need it in.
Thank you. Next question. Is Waze carpool still available since the people will be close together?
Right now,
So if the question was, is Waze carpool still available since the people will be close together? I mean that there will be like seat on the seat or
like 2 points will fit in the same car.
it is the responsibility of each user always to follow their local country guidelines. So if the country says only one person in each car, you have to make sure that you're following that. Waze is not going to police it for you.
Right. Next question is from Mike. Rather than have
I think the clarification for the
right.
One.
So it's the clarification. Rather than have to change the hours and wait for an update just to override it, is completely closed until the RTC dates is reached and then report to normal. We have places that are closed completely until this pandemic is over.
I understand, but I don't see the difference of adding to all places might be closed or changing hours due to the situation, according to the situation. Sorry, and then it answered the same pattern again because we can't really control and know day by day or hour by hour the changes in most of the places. If you think otherwise yet, let's talk about it offline. You're more than welcome to email me and your community manager, and we will try to find the best solution.
Perfect. So I'm going to mark the 2 questions as answered. And we're going to move to the next one, which is from Zakari. Sometimes there are problems with address search results Waze gets from Google. Despite adding RPP and NH trying to suggest fix in Google Maps, sometimes we still cannot get it fixed for the reporting user. Is there some way we can improve collaboration between Waze and Google Maps to resolve these issues?
If Dalia is here or someone that has to
here, we might have some update.
In general, I can say in the meantime that the Waze addresses have already prioritized over the Google addresses, and that will be also for autocomplete and everything. So it's pretty rare for Google Maps to appear. But fixing it, again, if someone here from the team that deals with search before can help, it will be great. And if not, we will answer it offline as well.
All right. I'm trying to, I'm contacting Dali to be able to get an answer, but we'll move. I'll leave the question for now there, and we'll get Dali's answer regarding this. From Alfred, just the testing question tab. Guilherme, would it be possible to generate map problems more frequently, as we will have fewer URs and more time to focus on those? I noticed this just happened in Brazil, and I believe it's a good idea. So regarding the map problems, I must say that we generally had a glitch in our system that wasn't allowing map problems to show. This is why you might have noticed during the last few days that a bigger quantity of map problems came up. But we can check into that. I'll also follow up with you, Guilherme, to check if this is something that you specifically noticed in the last few days or a trend that it's part of a bigger problem. Question from Fabio. In special site created Waze says no push messages. Does the rule also apply for MTE? Any guideline on it for you from you? Should we prefer ad hoc closures or MTE closures?
So, Mara, you want me to take it or you can?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So in general, that is correct. We've stopped with MTE push messages. And the reason for that is because unless the community goes back and verifies that the MTE is happening or not happening, it's very hard to confirm the data that we have. And so we're being more safe than sorry and completely removing all push messages. If you might have gotten one in the last 2 weeks or so, it's because of old ones that just haven't come yet. But you shouldn't be getting any more in the future. You ask if to do ad hoc closures versus MTE. If the event's an MTE, we always ask that you associate it to an MTE. When you do that, when you connect individual closures, orphan closures to an MTE, we get a lot of metadata that we wouldn't get otherwise. And it allows us to do a lot of analysis and understanding about the situation in different countries that we wouldn't be able to do if we had only orphan closures. And so for that reason, even if a push isn't happening, it's very, very helpful for us that you continue to create MTs and associate them to the closure, associate closures to the event.
Thank you. If I can remind everyone or to ask everyone not to upvote questions because they scramble the answers and it messes with the order. It will be great. We're going to try to reach each and every one of your questions, but and the ones that the time will not allow, we will follow up on a post. But just it will make it will be way better for us to be able to answer them. So just to follow up on the question, so the feedback we got from Dalia is that it's an issue that we are ongoingly working on, and that we encourage you to keep on reporting this on Center Code, as it really helps to reach our resolution to this. Question from Michael. In Brazil, editors asked if it's possible to post messages like in France and Italy in the app. I believe that this is like an encouragement message, suggesting that people do not leave home. There is currently no government decree, only a recommendation from the Ministry of Health. How is Waze evaluating this?
We're really taking it on a case-by-case basis. So if you have, sorry, Chazi, I didn't see that you were. So if you see that your government has recommended it, and you can find and send us the recommendation, we'll evaluate it with our policy and legal teams and make a decision based on that. So please, if you do have and want that, email waze-crisis@google.com, and we'll look into it for you.
Thank you. So I'm going to mark Mike as well. I'm gonna, guys, please again, please don't upvote questions. Sergey, unfortunately, I don't understand Russian, but we're going to try to get an answer to your question through Adas. So I'm going to leave it open. Question from Santiago. Are you going to consider these days as holidays for purposes of data history?
So again, if we will see the decrease in the drop in the traffic, we will change it. We might use a holiday ETA and might not, because maybe they will find like something else that will be more relevant, like time of the year or something like that. But yeah, we're looking into it and we're trying to fit it as best as possible. And the holidays is one option that we will use. Yeah.
Question from Yoav. Is all segment statistic from the past before the current crisis will be lost?
Sure. Again, sorry.
If all segment statistic from the past before the current crisis will be lost?
I think I understand what you're saying. You're saying that historical data, right?
Yeah,
Historical data.
it will harm the historical data.
I don't. I mean, I think Hadass, she's been working with the team working on these ETA changes, might have a better answer. But as far as I know, it's not lost. It's just a temporary change to how ETA is calculated. And once this period comes down and things go back to normal, we'll go back to using historical data properly. But Hadass will have a better answer.
And a clarification from Dalia is that it will probably take us a while to get back to good cross times after people start driving again. And that says that she approves my answer. Alexandra, have you implemented COVID testing location pins somewhere already? Could we have an example view? What additional information is provided for those pins? For example, in Lithuania, you cannot just drive there. You have to call and register first to get a time slot and approval.
So when Mauro is going to be sharing this recording at the end, I'll also send him a screenshot that he can share with you. If there's a requirement for something that the user needs to do in advance of getting to the testing center, please make sure to note that so we can make sure that it's marked on the pin. Because when we add pins to the map, we have additional information that we can add to it as well. And so we need to surface this to the user in your local language. We do not speak Latvian. And that way we'll be able to see that every user who clicks on the pin will know that what the instruction is.
And in general, we've shared with you, and we will share again with this summary of the recording and the summary of the webinar. We will share with you a link to the external site that we did especially for you guys. So you will be able to follow on everything that happened everywhere in the world. All the list that we had on the presentation, you will be able to see it there as well. So you will know what we already implemented and what we haven't implemented yet. And then you will be able to reach us personally and ask for everything that you need to ask or know. Okay.
Right. Next question from Zakari. Highly recommended installing Waze beacons throughout Guanajuato, Mexico, as its transportation network is highly dependent on tunnels, including various intersections and exit ramps underwear. So in that case, please talk to me, as I'm the community manager for Mexico. So just send me an email, and we will take it from there with Waze beacons. Move on. Question from Geoff. Are you going to have these community sessions at different times of day rather than every month at 1 a.m. Sydney time? So it's a tough question. We know that it's not suitable for everyone, although I must say that I checked the next month. It's actually becoming better with Sydney because we're moving. I think that here in Israel, we're moving to summertime, and I think that it will be at midnight. It's still late for a Sunday. I know that it's not optimal, but at the same time, we need to cover the US, Latin America, Europe. Like, we have a lot of people to satisfy. But what we can do is that you can send us questions in advance. Plus, we're going to be recording this webinar. I can share with you also, guys, the research that I did to find a common or the best suitable time for everyone. But unfortunately, there's not a lot of leeway to move in terms of the time. Sorry for the Aussie people. Alexandre. Message appears on Google Maps that the opening hours of a place can be affected by a holiday. Can we put something like that on Waze?
So, as we said, we're working on it and we're looking into it. Hopefully, we will be able to implement it, and you all will be seeing it on places around you.
Right. A question from Arthur.
Mayan, will it be by a community request, or we will implement it to all countries altogether? Because it changes from country to country.
I don't know. We're still in the early stages of discussing this. So I think it wouldn't be difficult for it to be by community request. I think it would have to be, at least for now, because of how this is spreading. I mean, there are countries who still aren't affected.
Perfect. So once we will have it, we will let you know, and then we might ask you to submit a request if you want to do it or not, but we will update exactly how it's going to work.
Thank you, guys. Next question, please, guys. Again, do not upvote. I'm moving up again, but just so that we can cover everyone according to the time that I posted. Question from Dennis. Parking lots have many features such as cost payment options that are not used in the app. Are you continuing to work on it, or has the project been discontinued? Let me see. Does anyone from the community team want to answer? Just let me know. I will move to the next question so that we can try to cover as much as possible, but I'm leaving the question unanswered from now. Behnam, reporting tool is very useful these days, but the biggest problem is it's not possible to select which side of the road reports are sent, and usually reports get live in the wrong side. Can you fix this issue? Please send us this issue if you have opened a bag on Center Code or sent or contacted the support team so that we can follow up on this, and we'll send you a follow-up in the forum. Zakari, being that trucks are not expected to ever become supported for navigation, can Waze please remove those options from the add restriction window in the WME?
Yes, so we are currently working on removing some car types that are not relevant to the WME, so it's a work in progress. It's a good note. We are aware of it. It's a long-standing request from the community, but it's currently under work. We will share once we have things to share about it.
Andrew, can Waze add a turn instruction override, TIO, for editors like continue, but called give way continue, which gives the instruction give way, then continues? Currently saying continue gives drivers the impression that there's no need to slow down or stop.
We can take it offline and see if something doable. Yep.
Again, if this is something that you have raised with your community manager, it might be important as well to bring it up again. But we will check on this and send you a follow-up. Arthur, can we somehow indicate a website for you containing all places attending to COVID-19 hospital testing center in order to upload pins?
Please submit them to the form. You can just put the link there and we'll process it for you. There is no need for you to add line by line in the spreadsheet.
Correct. And specifically for the for Brazil, since I know that Arthur is from Brazil, I know that the team is concentrating this list. So please get in touch with them so that we can have them all together and coordinated through the same communication channels. Question from David: can we share an external Waze crisis site?
Yes, it's external.
We shared. Might have you not got it yet? And as we said before, with this webinar summary, we will share the link to this external Waze site as well, so you will be able to see everything and share with whoever you think is relevant.
But I guess actually David's question is more like if the community can share it internally.
Yes, you can share it outside of the community, just for you to be able to see and know and think together what will fit your country best. There's nothing confidential there.
As Chazi mentioned, though, one more thing. I know there's been some discussion from the localization community about wanting to translate this page. Right now, it is not localized. The new page that Chazi mentioned when he was presenting is going to be localized. It's going to be translated. So if language is an issue, just wait a little bit longer and there will be one that's translated into your language.
Next question from Dennis. The chat in the editor often disappears. Is it being worked on?
I'm not aware of this personally. I'm not aware of this issue, but it will be checked. And if, again, someone else knows to answer. So next we will take care of it. We will check it.
So we will check Danny's answer. Since we only have 9 minutes left, I'm unfortunately closing the Q&A section for new questions. Oops, I just closed it also for you. Just 1 second. So we'll try to answer as many questions as we can, but the ones that we don't get to them, we will address them in the follow-up. Clayton, due to this crisis, I realized that it would be very useful to close in real time to allow emergency cars to pass. In this country, in my country, many public forces use Waze. Could this option be included in the tool?
So we answered this a little bit earlier. Right now, Waze continues to serve the majority of people, which is your average driver, and we don't have specific navigation for emergency services.
Right, next question from John. General question, can add an option to recalculate from current location, sometimes make unplanned stop or on frontage road, but Waze still thinks on suggested road. I'm not sure I understood the question, if I may. If John can clarify or give us an example about it, I'm going to move up to the next questions that we have, since we have very little time. Sorry about that. Juan Carlos, a long time ago, if a level 3 or 4 editor put a closure on the app, it would immediately take effect for everyone in the map. Can you go back to that, please? Chazi, do you want to answer that?
Can you please?
Yeah, sure. A long time ago, if a level 3 or 4 editor put a closure in the map, it would immediately take effect for everyone in the map. If we can go back to that kind of behavior, that didn't need to wait for a map update, a tile build. Sorry.
No, so it depends. If it's a closure, so if it's in real time, so whenever you submit it, it should be appear on the map already. It doesn't need to wait for a tile build. I'm not sure about the levels. That's not something I'm familiar with, but we'll check that. And if there's something that has changed, we will answer why and see if we can change something again, if that's okay.
Thank you. Clarification from Yoav. Stat is lost because the statistic is overridden by low traffic statistics. So the answer that we got is that we will probably need to wait a few days for the statistics for the ETA to be updated. Questions from Laurent. Are you thinking of improving the use of Waze reporting tool to make it properly usable. It's very difficult to correctly position the pin. So we spoke about that specific question, like I think that somebody else asked it. And it's important that you do report this to our support team. And if you have done so, that you bring them up to your community manager. Boyan, general questions, are there any plans to implement updates by approval similar to Places? For example, when an editor cannot edit a segment locked to a higher level, the edit is permitted and saved, but pending approval by a higher level editor.
There's in general work that is being done around approval and suggestions for changes in the map because of lock levels and the ability to get the lower level editors to do a little bit more and take an active part on editing the map, especially in places that are locked very high. So there's like a work around it, and we will share once we have things to share. But it's something that we're thinking of, and it's something that affects the whole behavior of the community, so we are aware of it.
Question from Jasper. Perfect for this one fits all encouragement message. Is it urgent? Can it be enrolled in a few days?
So yes, please share with us whatever you need, and once we will have it ready, we will get back to you and we will implement it as fast as possible if it will fit it. So feel free to email me or your community manager, or both of us. Share with us whatever you think is relevant and what is the situation in your country, and we will make sure that you will have the encouragement if it will fit it.
All right. Another question from Boyan, and we are closing. So guys, please do not write more questions because we won't have time. You're more than welcome to ask questions at the forum thread. We will send all the follow-up. Clarification to the police checkpoints, to be able to put such points on the map as places or similar to the way we implement road closures, effective immediately.
Okay, clarification noted. And again, as I said, we will need to check it generally, but I understand the general idea of having something that needs to be in real time because it's happening now. We need to have it now. We don't want to wait. For tile build. I understand the idea. We will check the option to see if something like that can be implemented.
All right. I will answer it. We'll just take a couple of questions more before we close it and respect everybody's time. Can Waze please find ways to improve the communication between editor and reporter? We have some users report the same issue dozens of times, but they never respond to our requests for more information. When they click the link in the email, they do not know how to use the WME. When they reply directly to the email, we do not receive a response.
So this is also something that we've already evolved, and we're working on it on a daily basis to improve the communication between the community and the reporters. We're doing our best to let the reporter know that something he report was taken care of, and trying to allow the community to communicate and to get the answers and to try to ensure that they get the answers. It's hard work, and we're on it, and we'll take care of it, and hopefully, I'm trying not to say the word soon, but hopefully soon enough we will be able to come with news around it.
All right. So last question that I'm going to ask before we close is from Orbit. Can we sum all the questions in there and their answers and post it along with the webinar notes? So we are taking notes of the questions that are not included in the presentation and that we weren't able to give a proper answer here, and we would send a full report to you guys as a follow-up to the announcement of these webinars. So with that, I'm going to close the Q&A section. And well, basically, I want to thank all of you guys for participating here and taking your time to be here. I want to clarify that at the end and now, when I'm going to close this webinar, there's going to be a super short survey about this session, because we want to hear your feedback and interest and topics you want to hear for the next time. So please take 2 minutes to fill it up. We will be sending you our feedback regarding our follow-up regarding the questions that you guys asked that we need to further check. Mainly from, and I think that I'm speaking for the entire community team, we hope that we wish you that during this uncertain time that you keep yourself safe and healthy, that you follow your government instructions, and that we will make sure and we will be working constantly to make sure that we keep each other communicating, either through the forum and through the next office hours that we're going to have. I'm going to be announcing as well in the next few days the next dates for the webinar. But basically, that's it from our side. It was a pleasure to having you all, and we appreciate the fact that you took the time to be with us today. And thank you again. Thank you, Chezi. Thank you, Mayan, for being here as well.
Thank you very much, everybody, and please share with us all the information that you have. Ask all the questions that you need, and together we will pass these times and we'll make it better, and we'll provide everything that we can for people around us. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.